NAT stands for Network Address Translation, and it is a function of routers. Now, it can also be a function of a server. We could put NAT any number of places, but it's very common to have it on a router. The idea is that we have private IP addresses. Now, I know that in the videos we haven't really covered IP addressing yet, although I do have some other videos that cover that, and I will make some in the future. But in this case, 10.0.0.1, the address of this computer, is a private IP address. In other words, it cannot be used on the internet publicly. So this network has an address assigned to it that is a public network. Or I should say is on a public network. So the way that NAT works is to translate from the private addresses to the public addresses. And it acts something like this. As this address goes into the NAT device, it's altered and then comes back out as the public address, completely different address from the way it came in. Now, NAT also works in reverse. As the public address comes into the NAT device, it is translated to the private address and then sent back up to the computer. Now, if there are multiple computers on here, it also has a way to keep track of which computer it belongs to. It uses a port number to do that, but we're not going to get that in depth. And technically, NAT is not NAT, at least this type. NAT actually implies a different public address for each private address. So here we would actually have to purchase 4 public addresses in order to service 4 private addresses. What we're actually using is something called PAT, or Port Address Translation, that translates any number of private addresses into a single public address. But PAT is just a subset of NAT, and so we usually just say NAT.